Doug Karsch, Scott Anderson, 97.1. 248-539-9797. Thanks for being with us on a Friday. All right, let's go. Back to the phones. Greg is next. Greg put us on hold. All good. All good. All right, so as it stands right now, nothing to report with Ward Manuel. The spread from betonline.ag has gone from 4-1 to 2-1 on Kalen DeBoer being the next head coach. The odds have gotten better on a bunch of people. Kenny Dillingham's the other one. I think those are two names to really focus on, is Kalen DeBoer and Kenny Dillingham for the next head coach. The news today is that we await the arraignment and find out what charges will be brought against Sherrone Moore, which is still hard to believe. The crash out and his response to all this, but the other part of all stuff that's coming out now regarding Sherrone Moore, it feels like any other rumors or anything people can find are coming out, and as I've said repeatedly, when it comes to any kind of scandal within a program, get it all out. If there was anything done beyond Sherrone Moore that was not appropriate, get it all out. Don't go halfway with the cavity. Examine all the teeth. You don't say we're gonna cut out some of the cavity and then fill it. Cut out all the cavity and examine every tooth, if you will, to try and get that eradicated, and also kind of set up your department for the future to let people know what is not going to be tolerated. But that's all playing itself out in real time right now. This is a crazy story that, Scott, it's hard to believe all the stuff that's gone down. Hard to believe.
Yeah, it's just stuff happening. Like, am I stunned that there's a football coach that got involved in a relationship? No, that doesn't really surprise me. Yep. It's the stuff afterwards that I'm like, oh, that got out of hand quickly. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the program really has been chaos for a little bit here, more than a little bit. So.
Well, there's been way too much.
And way too much.
Yep. Stuff's gonna happen. Okay, when you have student athletes, students make bad decisions. When you have 1,000 people working for your department in some capacity or another, there's going to be some bad apples in there. It's been a repeated pattern, and that's where they need to button things up.
Well, and I have some grace for students making mistakes,
of course,
right? But when it's the adults in the room that are the ones that are getting made the most egregious mistakes, whether it's recruiting violations or infiltrating somebody's emails or whatever the case is, there's been a lot of stuff that's gone on, and then the whole cheating scandal and everything. I mean, it's just a lot that the adults have done to themselves, and then when they also are part of covering up other things that students have done, that's a bigger problem. And that's where Michigan is tarnishing their image. That's why it's gone to hell over the last, 6-7 years.
It's time for a reset, and we'll see how this thing plays out over the next few days and weeks. I will say, though, that it feels to me like the focus is on making sure everything is done correctly and everything is vetted, and they want to get it done quickly, but they want to get everything done correctly more so than quickly. And that includes, certainly specific to the coach. I know people are worried about the roster getting rated, and understandably so. I mean, fans care about that. But if the coach you want, you can't get until into mid-January, then that's what you got to do. And
2 weeks after the portal opens up.
Yep. And that's, I think it's, you don't hire the wrong guy or choice number 3. I will say in discussions, I said, let's, hey, how about somebody that's not going to cause ripples and problems in the department? That you got to vet all that as well and make sure there's no skeleton in people's closets. And any behavioral issues that you need to worry about, like this, any wandering into gray areas you need to worry about, like with the previous coach, and try and set the tone from moment one by bringing in the right person. So I don't know that any Michigan fan would be against that. 248-539-9797. Lions are 6-point underdogs this weekend. I think it opened at 5 or 5.5, and it's moved up to 6, meaning money's coming in on the Rams. Rams offense is hitting on all cylinders. Stafford's slinging it. And they have their final workout today before they go to Los Angeles. And we'll talk with the Birchie kid. Practice is at 1, and he's going to join us at 1:30. So we'll get the very latest on, who's practicing, who's not practicing, the injury report. Yesterday, there was one player, unfortunately, that went from limited practice to did not practice. And it's probably the one that is the most informative. It was Kirby Joseph. And Dan Campbell said it's got to be back-to-back days where he can practice. Well, that's not going to happen this week. I suspect Kirby Joseph is not going to play in this game on Sunday.
I guess not. It'd be great if he could, but it's a situation where you need him, and it'd be great to have him. But if not playing him this week means you have a chance to have him play for the final 3 weeks, then that's probably best. Yeah.
But everybody else, that was limited on Wednesday, was also limited on Thursday. So Owashika, Harper, Christian Mahogany, Khalif Raymond, Sione Vaki, and Shane Zylstra. Alex Anzalone went from did not practice to full practice. 2 guys that are still out, obviously Brian Branch, and Taylor Decker didn't practice. But Kang, any early reads on this one?
Yeah, the Kirby Joseph thing is really worrisome because, obviously the long-term effects. And short-term, I think one of the keys to the game, and we'll get more into it later, like you said, but I think the Lions are going to have to force some turnovers. And Kirby Joseph, he's a turnover machine. He's a ball hawk, not only with intercepting the ball because he's got great ball skills, but fumble recoveries and things like that. He's just always around the ball, and he knows where to be. It's an instinct thing. And when he's not out there, especially when you don't have Brian Branch now out there, that's such a big blow to this secondary and this defense, because when you're going up against the Rams offense and Matthew Stafford and the type of year he's having, you're going to have to force some turnovers, and not having him out there, like I said, you're down to your third string free safety and now backup strong safety.
Yeah, both of those guys in the back end are absolute playmakers. They're probably two of the top 10 safeties in the National Football League, and the Lions have both of them, and they do miss them. They just make plays,
Gator.
Man.
And the thing is, I think you were off when I said this. If you go back and look at it, we had the 2 best safeties in the league for 1 year.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. Like, we had the 2 all-pro Pro Bowl safeties, and we only got maybe, it's not over yet, but maybe we only got 1 year of both of them together at once.
When you hear
playing in their prime,
the potential prognosis for Kirby Joseph long-term doesn't look good. But these guys complement each other so well. I think receivers around the league, they know where number 32 is at, and they are afraid of Brian Branch because he is going to light you up, and that makes a difference back there. And the quarterback throwing the ball to that receiver, man, maybe that receiver is paying more attention to him, and when he does, balls get deflected, and where do they end up? Right in the arms of Kirby Joseph. They play complementary football between the two of them, and they're a vital part of why the Lions have been successful. And here it is, another long stretch where we're going to play without either of them.
Okay, so what you just said about creating turnovers, the problem is that this year Stafford is on his way to having his least amount of interceptions for his entire career. He is dialed in this passing game, really getting it done with the receivers they have. It's easier to not throw an interception when you are protected and your guys are wide open.
And he's been protected and his guys are wide open.
In their 3 losses, he's thrown 3 of his 4 interceptions. He's only thrown 4 all year. And what is it, 17 years in the league, and this could be his best year in terms of interceptions?
He has, look, he had Calvin Johnson before, right? When Calvin was the best ever. But what he's working with now ain't shabby. You got Devontae Adams, who's one of the all-time greats, and Puka Nacua, who's in the embryonic stages of his career, and he is out freaking standing. And he's got a running game, which is something he never had with the Lions. He's got all the things. And, by the way, an offensive line that protects him. He is having his best season.
248-539-9797. There are mixed reports today regarding Tarek Skubal and the probability of him getting dealt. We'll get to that. Next hour, most likely. More of your Michigan calls and feedback as we continue here on Karsch and Anderson on 97.1.